So I'd say about after all the adjustments and all the fine tuning, with the adjusting the front derailleur and the cassette, uh, uh, that gives me about a 300% gear range, right? And that's what gives me the ability to ride casually, to do just about anything on this bike. You know what I'm saying? And no, ratios don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It does. You know what I'm saying? I talk about ratios because people talk about ratios because it gives them a relationship to speed, right? Right. Whereas now I'm at a point now where I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying, I don't need to talk about it as much, or if not anymore, right? But I'm saying there's nothing cool about pushing, mashing big gears, right? Even worse it's even worse trying to mash big gears just in general, especially up hills, right? And it's like, it's not an egotistical thing. I mean, people like, what I'm saying, like single speeders, like they like to brag because they use the ratio and they connect it to their fitness levels, right? And see, that's the problem. It's like, okay, well, if you're, basing your gear ratio based on your fitness level, which is what you're supposed to do, right? Which is why with this bike, every time, like every time I try to push a higher gear, what I'm saying, I always reach back for my lower gear. So now I'm at a point now, I don't care about pushing top end speed on this bike, right? I mean, the only thing fun to do on this bike is like downhill, just basic downhill shit, right? Right, right. And that's, you know, but, uh, but what I'm saying, I figured out that you can get maximum agility, right, and stability by lowering the seat and lowering your center of gravity, right? This bike can actually take vibrations a lot better than what I gave it credit for, right? You know, I'm not saying these rigid mountain bikes, uh, what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that 2.1 inch tires is enough to handle pretty much anything, honestly, right? Like I just saw a guy, Safa Bryan, right? He was using a drop bar bike with 1.9 inch tires. He was doing 20 minutes of downhill Category 4 gravel, right? Going like averaging like 20, 30 miles an hour average, right? Now, he's not like me. He's, more of an aspiring roadie gravelist, right? And he was using a drop bar bike, completely different geometry, right? But, what I'm saying, in that little scene, that 20 minutes of downhill Category 4 gravel, a bike like this would have been more comfortable, would have been more fun, right? Not necessarily better. You know what I'm saying? Do you need gear ratios below 1.2? Yes, you do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a machine. You know what I'm saying? If I lived in a plastic bubble in a perfect world where there's no wind, no changes in extreme weather conditions,